You are listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. I help female perfectionists beat self-sabotage and lose the weight for good using the Fit Figure Formula coaching program. I'm your host, Stephanie Riles, registered dietitian, personal trainer, and mindset transformation coach. If you've been struggling with all or nothing thinking, negative self-talk, or self-sabotage, this is the podcast for you. Learn how to get consistent and become the best version of yourself from the inside out. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fit Figure Formula podcast. I am your host, Stephanie Riles, registered dietitian and fitness mindset coach. So today I'm going to be talking about how to get in enough fiber and why this is really important. This is one of the overlooked strategies for taming cravings and hitting your weight loss goals. I think the fiber conversation gets a little bit overlooked because we're talking so much about protein right now. And a lot of what I see is when we're trying to get in enough protein, we actually start decreasing the amount of fiber-filled foods so that we can hit our protein goal, and then our fiber is actually even lower. And most of us are only getting about half of the recommended minimum amount, okay? So this is really, really, really important. And this is going to help you if you are on a weight loss journey, if you are pre-diabetic, diabetic, or if you have any kind of issues with bloating or digestion issues. Listen up, because this is going to be really helpful. So if you're listening to this podcast and you have not yet actually followed or subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do that so that you do not miss another episode. If you're not a formula fan yet, definitely go to the show notes. The show notes are where you can subscribe and be a formula fan, which means that you are supporting the podcast and in the production of this podcast. That is also where you can apply to work with me inside the Fit Figure Formula. The show notes link also has the opportunity for you to get on my email list. By the way, if you're listening to this in real time, I'm recording this on 10/28/25. So if you want to join the Fit Figure Formula and you have not joined my group program yet, this is number one, the last time you'll be able to for this year, but also I'm going to be announcing a really incredible deal here soon. So make sure that you're on my email list. You can go to the show notes and subscribe to be a weight loss insider and hop on my email list. Again, this is going to be the last time you can join the Fit Figure Formula for 2025. So make sure you follow the podcast and head to the show notes and get on the list, or just go ahead and apply. Okay. And then here is my last request and announcement before I jump in. If you are enjoying this podcast, please share it with someone. So share it on your social media. You can share the link to your family and friends, put it in the group chat so that someone else can benefit from understanding more about their macros, mastering their mindset, or even they may join the formula and I can help them transform their lifestyle. So what is this going to do? This is going to actually add years to people's lives. This is going to help you get off medication. So sharing the podcast takes a few seconds, but it actually can really, really change someone's life that you know for the better. So if you would do that right now and then come back and listen to the rest of this episode, I would really appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. So fiber, the fiber conversation gets left out of our weight loss talk because we're so focused on calories and there's a lot of talk about protein right now. But if you've ever felt consistently hungry, bloated, or stuck in a weight loss plateau, fiber might be the missing piece. So I have had so many clients who have come to me and they want to lose weight, yes, but then they have some mild GI discomfort, right? They might be really bloated all the time, or every time they eat, they just feel some stomach discomfort. I have had clients who actually have, diagnosed conditions where they are suffering from painful stomach aches. And I can't think of one person that hasn't benefited from the formula process that I teach. All of the clients that I can think of who have had issues with their gut, after a few weeks, if their symptoms have drastically improved inside of the formula. So this is not only about weight loss, it's also just about feeling better and not feeling horrible after you eat. Now, for you, it really just depends on why your stomach is bloated or you're feeling discomfort, right? So if you have celiac disease or if you are lactose intolerant, right, we just have to stay away from those foods that aggravate your gut, or especially if you have any kind of allergies anything like that. You want to make sure that you're staying away from foods that your literal immune system is not able to handle. But if you generally just don't know, like, man, I don't know why I always feel really bloated after a meal, or I sometimes have like tummy aches that I just don't understand. I literally have not had one client who hasn't benefited from the formula. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite ways to hit your fiber goal. And this is one of the simplest shifts that you can make for your metabolism, for your blood sugar, and for your weight loss journey. So first, what is fiber? Fiber is a type of carbohydrate. Okay. So fiber comes from plants. If you are trying to increase your fiber consumption, that is going to come from plants or things that are supplemented with additional fiber. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But fiber is a type of carbohydrate. So if you look on the nutrition facts of, let's just say something like crackers, you're going to see total carbohydrates, and it's going to have the total carbohydrate grams. And then indented under that is going to be your dietary fiber. And it's indented because that means that that fiber number is part of the total carbohydrates. Okay. So just know that fiber is a type of carbohydrate and it comes from plants. Okay. So fiber is going to help you feel fuller longer. So this is going to help reduce snacking and emotional eating. So when you have some fiber on your plate, and as women, we need a minimum of 25 grams per day, and that is a minimum. So if you eat 3 meals and 1 snack, that's roughly between 6 and 7 grams per meal if you broke it up evenly. So let's say you're tracking in MyFitnessPal, which you know, if you're in the Fit Figure formula, I don't teach tracking, I teach pre-planning, but to know your per meal fiber goal is important if you are just tracking your meals around 6 or 7. So let's say you're tracking breakfast, you know you're going to be short if you only have like 2 grams in the morning, or you're going to have to make that up throughout the day. And that's for 3 meals and 1 snack. Okay. So if you're eating 3 meals and 2 snacks, you want to make sure that you're just doing that simple math. So fiber is going to help you feel fuller longer. Fiber is going to help you reduce snacking and emotional eating. Now, snacking is not bad. I think I have a podcast episode on snacking and how you can use snacking to actually help you hit your goals. So there's nothing wrong with having a snack, but a lot of what I see is the carbohydrates that we are picking don't have enough fiber for us to hit our goals. So we're eating plenty of carbohydrates. We're just choosing ones that don't have enough fiber. And so this is one of the reasons why carbohydrates get a bad rap, because it's not that we can't have carbs and that carbs make you fat. It's just that we're not choosing the correct type of carbs and the right portion. So yes, I can have a cookie that is a carb, that is something that probably is not going to have 3 grams of fiber or more per serving, unless it's like, you know, a healthy type of cookie or whatever, fortified with some fiber. But if you eat the cookie, you can still actually include fiber-rich foods and still hit your goals, right? And so inside the formula, I help you pick the correct type of carbohydrates, but then also how you can plan in your treats and your cookies and your cupcakes or whatever you're into, how you can plan those in without having to wait for your quote unquote cheat day. So fiber is going to help you feel fuller longer. And this is because it's not absorbed into your bloodstream, right? We literally just poop it out. And so while that fiber is going from being eaten to then us eliminating it when we go to the bathroom, it is not absorbed into the body. It is just going through our body. And so whenever that happens, it's helping to make you feel fuller longer, but then also it also helps with cholesterol issues. So if you have elevated cholesterol, that soluble fiber is going to help. Now, there are 2 types of fiber, soluble and insoluble, but I'm not going to get into all of that today. Just know that if you want to help reduce sugar cravings, reduce snacking, reduce emotional eating, or if you have elevated cholesterol, eat more plants, eat more fiber, hit that minimum fiber goal every single day. And I'm going to teach you more about how to do that in a little bit. Hitting your fiber goal is also going to help you with your blood sugar balance. So this is going to prevent energy crashes and, again, cravings. So a lot of times we will have clients that come into the formula and they're having evening cravings, it's probably because you're not eating enough overall calories, you're not eating enough protein, you're probably not eating enough fiber. You may not be getting enough water either. So it's really, really important for those of you who feel like, oh my God, I'm so hungry in the evening and I just want to eat everything. This is just a signal from your body that you're not getting enough throughout the day. So it works wonders to be able to push your calories up in the day, closer to breakfast, right? Push those calories up instead of eating most of your calories at dinner. So it's going to help with your blood sugar balance. It's going to help with your gut health. So this is going to help you go to the bathroom, and your gut health is so important to your mental health, to your digestive health. You're going to feel so much better when your gut is functioning optimally. So what we want to do is we want to gradually increase your fiber. So one of the most beneficial things you can do before you start trying to change anything is to see where you are right now. So if you are just tracking your food, look and see how much fiber you are getting. This is one thing that I tell my clients to do. Inside of our tracking app, I have them go in and make sure that we can see the fiber number. So what I want to look at when I look at one of my clients' meal logs is I'm going to, of course, look at their overall calories. I want to see how much protein they're getting. And then I also want to see their fiber. And those are the three numbers that we really hyper focus on. So if you track your food for a few days and you see like, oh, I'm not getting enough, you're probably not. Most of us are not getting that 25 grams. Most of us are getting like around 15, 14, something like that. Then we want to start gradually increasing and also making sure you're getting enough hydration, because you can actually increase your fiber by a lot. And if you're not getting enough water, you'll actually start getting constipated. So you just want to make sure that if you're not up to your minimum of 25 grams, you start very small and incrementally each day, each week, just add a little bit more so that you don't cause any GI distress. And GI stands for gastrointestinal distress, which is just your intestines, your large intestine, your small intestine, your stomach, right? Just your digestive system. We want to start small. So here are some of my favorites. Again, if you start early in the day, it's super duper helpful. And this is the same. This is true for your protein. This is true for fiber. It's true for water. You want to start as early as you can, because that way you're not trying to cram in to get enough fiber or protein or water at the end of the day. So if you can add chia seeds, milled flax seeds, or even avocado at breakfast, this is going to help so much just to get your day started with that healthy fat. Our breakfast formula, inside of the formula, the Fit Figure formula, is a protein, a carb, and a fat. And this is just a standard template that we use just to get started, right? Just to get started building up to actually hitting your individual customized macros that you get whenever you work with me. But we want to make sure that we're adding that healthy fat. So chia seeds, flax seeds, avocado are some of my favorite ones because it doesn't take much volume. You don't have to add a whole lot. You can just add one serving, and especially avocado, a serving of avocado, which normally what I see my clients putting on their plate is around 35 to 50 grams. And that's going to give them 3 to 4 grams per serving. So 3 grams per serving is considered a good source of fiber. So think about adding chia seeds to your oatmeal, adding chia seeds to smoothies. I like to buy the frozen avocado chunks and add that to smoothies. Even if you do something like a half a bagel with avocado and salmon, you can just sprinkle on a little of the chia seeds onto the avocado. You can put chia seeds inside of your Greek yogurt. So this is so simple to do, to just add a little bit of chia seeds. You can even add it into eggs. You can add it almost into anything, really. Chia seeds doesn't really add too much texture. Remember, we're not adding a whole bunch. And if you're eating it right away, it doesn't like swell up too much. But I do also have clients who do like chia water or chia pudding or something like that too. But make sure that you are adding some healthy fat like chia seeds, flax seeds, avocado to your meal in the morning. This is going to help with your blood sugar. It's going to help hit your fiber goal, and it's going to add some healthy fat to your diet, which is good for your brain and your heart. Another one of my favorite ways to get more fiber in is beans. So I personally like to swap out rice. I'm not a huge rice lover anyway, for beans instead. So any kind of beans, black beans are probably my personal favorite, but that is going to boost your fiber and it's going to give you some protein too. So that's another reason why I really like it. Also, if you are eating something like pasta, they have pasta that is fortified with fiber. So one of my favorite hacks is to get items that are fortified with fiber, and bonus if it has protein. So for example, oatmeal. Oatmeal should have some fiber depending on what kind of brand and if you're using the little packs or not. But they now have fiber oatmeal, meaning like it has been fortified with even more fiber. And they also have some that have extra protein and fiber. But again, if you wanted to follow the single ingredient rule, which is going to be the healthiest overall for you, where you're just buying oatmeal that doesn't have anything extra in it, you can add those chia seeds. It's going to give you a similar effect. Okay. So you can add beans. You can look for carbohydrates that have a label on it that are fortified with additional fiber. Whenever I have my clients start noticing their carbohydrates and reading labels, the first thing I do is have them look for 3 grams of fiber or more on the label. So whenever you go and you shop for your bread or you shop for your pasta, I want you to just turn it over and look and see how many grams of fiber does this have? Does this hit the 3 grams of fiber or more benchmark? If not, just compare brands and buy the brand that you think that you're going to like, because we do want to like the food that we eat, but that maybe has the 3 grams of fiber or more per serving. And so this isn't always hard and fast. I'm not going to lie. Whenever I eat rice, I like jasmine rice, and the kind of rice that I like doesn't have 3 grams. I think it maybe has 2. So I get that kind because that's the kind that I like. And there is something called Kaizen rice that I have seen. I have never tried it, so I don't know if I like it, but I think it's a little bit more expensive and it comes in a much smaller container. So you can get those like specialty items, but there might be some things that are carbohydrates that maybe don't have the 3 grams of fiber or more. But this is just a guideline for most of your carbohydrates. The best thing to do is to get your fiber from whole foods like beans, flax seeds, avocado, right? But of course, we are going to eat some processed foods from time to time. So you want to make sure that if it's a carbohydrate, you want it to have 3 grams of fiber or more. So that means look at your tortillas, look at your English muffins, look at your waffles, look at the label, make sure it has 3 grams of fiber or more. So another super easy way is just adding more vegetables. So add peppers, add onions, add mushrooms, add greens to soups, to stir fry, to your crock pot, to sandwiches. If you cut up peppers or onions for any reason, cut up the whole thing. And even if you don't use the whole onion or the whole pepper, you're going to put that leftover chopped up veggies in a container in the refrigerator. And then every time you get a chance, add a little spinach to your eggs, right? Add some onions to your sandwich, add some peppers to your Buddha bowl, right? That's super duper simple. Just add more veggies. Like how many veggies are you actually eating each day? Try to increase that by at least 1 or 2 servings per day. And that's going to also help you with your fiber goal. Another one of my favorites is Olipop. So Olipop is a beverage and it has 9 grams of fiber in a can. And they're actually pretty tasty. They have a variety of flavors. Most of them have between 35 and 50 calories. So this is something that a lot of my clients adopt when they are trying to hit their fiber goal. They will add in an Olipop so that they can have something a little fizzy, feels like you're drinking some soda, but it actually has 9 grams of fiber. And I think recently I did a reel where I took some Olipop like root beer flavor and I added it with the Halo Top ice cream. So basically it was like a root beer float. And the macros on it were crazy. I can't even remember what it is, but it had a ton of fiber, a ton of protein, and very little calories for something that is more than likely considered a treat, but the macros were great. And the portion was probably more than you think. So you can make those little swaps like that. That's probably one of my favorites. Another super easy way to get in more fruits and vegetables is during your snack time. So I hear a lot of people struggle with snacking. But when you snack on apples, roasted chickpeas, or something else that has fiber in it, then your snacks become less of a problem. A snack is a great time to add in some fiber. Inside of the formula, I give my clients, I call it the macro diary. And at the very back, I have so many ideas for snacks, for fiber and protein snack items on the go, some healthy swaps. And I give this to every client. But this is also something that you can literally ask ChatGPT. This is like a simple question. Like, what are the foods that have the highest fiber? And again, you want to start slowly and adding some of these things in. But if you just pay a little bit more attention, if y'all remember, I always say you need two things to change anything: attention and intention, and put a little bit more intention on getting your fiber in every single day. Again, you're going to need enough water and you're going to need to go slowly, but getting to that 25 isn't hard when you have a strategy. And this is exactly what I help my clients do inside the formula. I help you master your nutrition. It's easier than you think. It's going to give you so much more food freedom. You're going to be able to hit your calorie goals so that you can see the results that you want. You're going to be able to feel more full, more satisfied, have less cravings, have more energy, and decrease your bloating and constipation and all the GI issues that come with not getting enough fiber. My clients do this on their own. I do not give meal plans. They do this on their own because this is the skill that I'm going to teach them in 16 weeks that they can take with them forever. So I hope some of these hacks helped. You can get all the information that you want, but implementation is what's going to change your life. And that's what I help my clients do every single day inside of the formula. I'm in their back pocket every single day, making sure that they're hitting their protein goals, they're hitting their fiber goals, they're hitting their calorie goals. I'm giving them customized macros and making changes and answering questions every single day. So if you want that type of support, right now is the best time to join the Fit Figure Formula. The Black Friday offer is going to be the last time that you can join for 2025. So make sure you head to the show notes and get on my email list, or go ahead and just apply to the formula right now. You'll get on a one-on-one call with me and we will decide if it's a good fit for us to work together for the next 16 weeks. I'll be announcing what the Black Friday offer is very soon. So stay tuned to the podcast. Make sure that you share this episode because I know this is going to help somebody hit their fiber goals, feel a little bit better, and maybe, just maybe, they'll actually apply as well. And you, your friend, or your family member can join the formula together and transform your mind and your macros. All right, ladies, thanks for listening to this episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. If you're new here and you're struggling with your fitness journey, I invite you to take a super simple next step. Click the link in the show notes for a free training. If listening to this podcast has been helpful, imagine being inside the Formula Coaching Program. You can apply for coaching with the link in the show notes. I hope to see you inside.